Welcome to Hedwigs Army. Hosted and produced by Josh Clayton and Trevor Feldman.
I solemnly swear that I'm up to no good.
Welcome to Hedwigs Army. I'm Josh.
I'm Trevor, and today we're going to be going over Chapter 7, The Sorting Hat.
Yes, we are. Finally at Hogwarts, finally getting sorted. And now the good times will continue rolling, and I can't wait.
And we get to
Speaking
find out
of
if
rolling,
it's really hard.
yes. Speaking of rolling, this is a J.K. Rowling series Harry Potter reread. Anyways, with that, my point is that there's a spoiler alert because this is a Harry Potter reread, and things that we will and can go over, can and will be going over, will contain spoilers, massive spoilers. Looking at my notes, where I have a major spoiler in here right in front of my face that will ruin the whole series for you if you do not know the series already. And if you do not know the series and you do not like spoilers, then you probably should not be listening to this. But if you don't know the series and don't mind spoilers, or you do know the series, or you just want me to shut up so we can start talking about it, then we will continue. But be warned, major spoilers ahead. No turning back. Anyways, with that, we're going to dive in to the Chapter 7 Sorting Hat summary for you guys. And let's get it going.
Alright, so Chapter 7, The Sorting Hat. We open up, we get to meet McGonagall. Seems really strict. Then we move on to the first years getting led to a room that is connected to the Great Hall. They get to the Great Hall. They're waiting for, McGonagall to come back. She gives them a little history when she gets back of, this houses and whatnot. Then we get to the Great Hall. Harry gets to see just how big the school is. We get to meet Albus Dumbledore. We get to see Hagrid again. We get to see Malfoy. Meet a couple new characters. Then we move on to the sorting, which everybody is super, super nervous about. I feel like I would be there too. And while they're getting sorted, they get the sorting hat put on their head. Nobody's expecting that. They're thinking it's going to hurt. It really doesn't. We get Hermione as the first one. Then we get Harry. Then we get Ron is like second to last. And they all get sorted into Gryffindor. We also get Malfoy. He gets sorted into Slytherin, of course. We have Neville, who I believe takes a while, but he gets sorted in Gryffindor. And then from the sorting, everybody gets their tables when they get sorted. We have the feast. And, Albus Dumbledore is saying, hey, all right. He says some really random words. We'll get into that a little bit later, because I really wish I knew what those words meant. And then from there, they have a feast. They have great food that appears out of nowhere. We move on to dessert. When we get to meet Snape, we also get to re-meet Quirrell. Harry experiences a sharp pain, doesn't know why, super confused. And then from there, they finish their dinner. They're super full. And Dumbledore's like, all right, so I got a couple things for you. 1, do not go to the Forbidden Forest. You should all know why. 2, don't go to the third floor on the right-hand side unless you want to experience a gruesome and painful death. We'll find out what that is later. And then I can't remember what's the other thing that he says.
don't know, it's not important.
Yeah, it's not important. We'll go over it later. We get to meet the Hogwarts ghosts, such as Nearly Headless Nick, the Bloody Baron, the Fat Frere. I don't believe we get to meet Ravenclaw's ghost, but we will meet her eventually. Percy leads all the first years up to the common room. He gives the password, which
Caput Draconis.
Yes. And then they step in. While they're stepping in, Neville needs help to get in.
Of course he does.
And that's pretty much the entire... I mean, I gave you guys a general overview, but that's more or less what the chapter is about.
That was more detailed than I would have gave, so there you go. I mean, that was pretty detailed, but we're obviously going to dive more into those details.
I wish we could do the spoilers for...
Crimes of Grindelwald.
Yes, because like the first opening, I was like, oh my god.
Yep. But
because that specific
we
character,
can't give no spoilers.
I know, but like,
don't tease yourself. No, don't tease yourself. You want to talk about it? Don't tease yourself.
We'll talk.
That's
about
okay.
that.
We are working on a Crimes of Grindelwald episode. It's just taking a little bit longer because I think we need to see it again.
Yeah, because
I've been listening to other podcasts and people talking about it, and there's things that I missed in it that they're talking about, so I think we need to see it again before we do that.
It's always good to, obviously, like doing now, where we're rereading and we're, realizing, oh, hey, this connects to this. Oh, what's this? Oh, I didn't, as a kid, I didn't think, oh,
right.
What's
but
this?
yeah, our goal is to provide like as much detail as we can, and we have like some really interesting stuff, like certain people's backgrounds and family trees and things like that to see how things connect. But either way, we think we're going to see it again. We are working on that. That's going to be out relatively soon. Like I said, it's becoming a little more difficult than I thought it was going to be to get some of these details that we want to include in there. So, but just be, keep an eye out, keep an eye out for that. I know Trevor's itching to do it. I just don't want to rush it, and I want it to be good.
Because I'm always the theory kind of guy,
Right. I just want it to be
how is this connected
quality.
to this?
So I want to make sure I get everything in it. So
yeah, of course.
Anyway, but we're not on Crimes of Grindelwald. We're on Chapter 7. So let's go ahead back to there.
First things first. Not about the character, but when they mention the entrance hall, that Harry's like, wow, you could fit the Dursleys' house. And I'm pretty sure their house is not small. I mean, it's not big, but it's not small by any means. So for him to be like, yeah, it could easily fit in the entrance hall.
Right.
Yeah, it gives you an idea of
huge.
just how big this castle is.
Right. It's huge. I mean,
If just the entryway is bigger than a person's house, wow.
Right. I mean, yeah, no, it's huge. I mean, Hogwarts is... I can't remember the actual size, but I know it's enormous. It's miles and miles and miles long.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna look it up in a minute. But before that, though, because you're kind of jumping ahead of my notes here, it's okay. We normally we write them down by page number. We didn't do that this week, so we're gonna try and stay in order here. But there's a couple things I want to go over. Just to get out of the gates, the first thing that McGonagall kind of talks about is the houses. So I wanted to give the listeners here, you guys, and even you, Trevor, a little bit of background on these houses. And what I mean is, anyone who knows Harry Potter knows.
Obviously, the name is
right.
Ravenclaw.
Godric Ravenclaw, Rowena Ravenclaw, Salazar Slytherin, and Helga Hufflepuff. You obviously know about that. So I don't need to tell you the stories on that. They came together. They wanted to create, teach other kids, and that's where Hogwarts was founded from.
I want to go over something, but I'll wait till the second book because it pertains more to the second book.
Yeah, we gotta save something for that.
But you know what I'm talking about, right?
I don't think I do.
About
the secret rooms or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. No, yeah.
Is that something we should wait? But it's really cool.
It'll be really bad. I want to save something for future books. But here, since the first book is basically an introductory, so I feel like our first set of podcasts in the first book should be introductory as well. So we're introducing everything that's in the Potterverse. So first off, from Pottermore, I have the most famous, or the most, famous
Raven.
wizards.
It's the famous Ravenclaws.
Yeah,
through the
well,
ages.
it's all of them, though. So famous Ravenclaws, famous Gryffindors, Hufflepuffs, Slytherins
Right, but we're
through the
starting off
ages.
with Ravenclaw.
Yeah, we start off with Ravenclaw, but I'm saying we're going to go through all the houses and the famous, notable wizards / witches in them. So, the first and foremost, most notable Ravenclaw is obviously Rowena Ravenclaw.
Literally the founder.
Right. She's the founder of Hogwarts School, and she's owner of a beautiful diadem that bestowed wisdom on the wearer. But it was lost. The lost diadem of Ravenclaw.
Ooh, wait. Can I do that spoiler, though? Because we know where that...
Yeah, we already get spoiler, right? Here again.
Oh, well,
we
we
all
know
know
where
it.
that diadem actually
Right.
goes.
And we know where it is now, and that's in almost sword. Gone for good. Not lost, but destroyed.
But before it was destroyed, we know that her daughter actually stole it.
And hid
from
it
her.
in the Forest of Albania, in a tree in the Forest of Albania.
Which is interesting because the... Oh, you know what? No, I won't ruin that. Just know that there's a certain character that you don't find out until much, much later in the series is actually related to Rowena Ravenclaw and the Bloody Baron.
What? Who? Is it a Crowns Grindelwald thing?
No.
Then give it. We're already giving it spoiler.
The Grey Lady.
That is Rowena Ravenclaw, bro.
Oh.
The Grey Lady. Oh, wait.
That's...
Rowena Ravenclaw, and she's her daughter. What's her name?
I don't remember.
Helena Ravenclaw.
Right. Is the Grey Lady.
Well, yeah, but
the
her
Grey
daughter.
Lady.
I mean,
Right. The
but
Grey
she
Lady.
was still not related, but they
She is.
her no, to the Bloody Baron
No,
the Bloody Baron
Bloody
killed her.
Baron, like...
murdered her.
Right, and then murdered himself, which is why
Yeah.
he's so bloody.
Yep.
And he
Which
doesn't
is actually
escape.
something I had answered in here. We'll get to it even more later, but it talks about, I think Seamus Finnegan asks why he's so bloody, and Nick just says, we never ask. But in reality, it's because he killed Helena Ravenclaw and himself.
Right, because he
was
wanted
in
to
love
be with
her,
her.
but she didn't want to be with him.
Right, and then he got, like, super angry and jealous and whatnot, and I don't know how he killed her, but he ends up killing her.
I don't remember. I do have the Bloody Baron looked up here, so when we get around to him, I'm going to have some info on him, so we'll find out.
Which is interesting that, like...
Later in this podcast.
we don't ever really get to hear him talk, but seemingly he's super intimidating. I mean, great.
Well, yeah,
you see a guy covered in blood who's...
a ghost covered in blood.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like, oh, hey.
For all of eternity, he has blood on him. You can't wash that off. So, I mean, yeah.
Very interesting.
Right. But we have to kind of move on. Otherwise, we're going to be here for 4 hours just talking about these alone. It's okay. That's what I'm saying. Lots of
That's
fun
the thing
stuff
I like to do.
to talk about.
Theories.
But we are going to go over the Bloody Baron, so we'll get back to this conversation. I just want to finish these. So I'm going to run through these. There are little, like, descriptions for each person, but I'm only going to read some ones that aren't, like, obvious. Like, for example, Luna Lovegood, like, we don't have to really explain her. Like, if you know Harry Potter, you know who Luna Lovegood is. She's quirky and weird and...
In the first book?
No, we don't. Not until book
3 or 4, I think.
Yeah, I don't... 3? No.
Maybe 4. Yeah, it's a while until we get
5,
introduced.
actually. I don't think we see her till 5.
But then, like, after we get introduced to her, she becomes super important to the story.
Yeah, I don't...
Because she's, like, a good connection to Harry.
I think 5.
Because of her backstory with her mom.
Yeah.
Like, she's the reason that, like, Harry understands. I think it's actually after book 5 because... No. Yeah, it's in book 5, actually.
Yeah. I think he meets her in book 5 for the first time on the train.
Because that's when he can start seeing
He sits with
rules,
her,
and he's like...
him, Ginny, and Neville sit with her.
Right, and she's like, hey, you can see him too. And
Yeah,
he's
you know
like,
what? You know why? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but it is that because Cho Chang opens the corridor or carriage, and Neville's plant squirts on Harry's face. Right, and that happens right before she opens it. And then she opens it, and Harry's covered in pus, smelling pus, and that's but he doesn't have a crush on Cho Chang until book 5, and that's also when
we
meet Luna. So
right, because she talks about the whole. Oh, you can see them too.
No, I'm a liar. Wait. No, I'm sorry. Yeah. I was thinking. Because she talks about the Yule Ball, but she talks about it in book 5. Makes it awkward because she's like, she says something about Parvati, or I don't know. She says something about Padma having a horrible time with Ron, but it was in book 5 that she says it. It wasn't in book 4.
Right, but then from then on, she becomes
super important. Yeah. But either way, so Luna Lovegood, she's quirky, she's weird, but she is very important and very brave, and she definitely could have been a Gryffindor, but it's interesting that she's a Ravenclaw because you think of Ravenclaw as level-headed, smart people, and I'm not saying she's not smart, but she's not really level-headed, she's really kind of out there, but
maybe that's what makes her smart.
Yeah, but it makes her, I think what it does, it makes her smart in an unconventional way. Like, she's not book smart, she's not, like, knowledgeable.
I think
but
she's
like,
but, like, we don't really get, like, too
right,
much of
like, she's
those.
smart outside of the box smart.
Yeah.
Like, a little, little box of what smart should be. She's still smart, but she's outside of it. Anyways. Next, we have Garrick Ollivander. I mean, not much to say about him. He's just a wand maker.
Greatest wand maker alive.
Greatest wand maker alive. But he's a Ravenclaw. Flitwick. Yeah.
Oh, the
Flitwick.
Charms
teacher. But he's also the head of Ravenclaw and an accomplished duelist.
I mean, him, McGonagall, and who's the third person? They hold their own against...
him, McGonagall, and I think it was Molly Weasley, actually.
Hold their own against Voldemort, I think.
Yeah. Was it Molly?
Which says a lot.
Him, McGonagall. Yeah, I think it was him, McGonagall, and Molly Weasley.
Hold their own against...
Don't quote me on that. I could be way wrong.
I know for sure.
No, it's him and McGonagall.
For sure.
And I think the third one is Molly Weasley. I'm going to look that up, though, because I'm not 100.
Which is still impressive when you think about it. Like, this man is dueling with... What is it said? Other than, Dumbledore and probably Grindelwald. The strongest wizard to have ever existed. And they're going toe-to-toe with him. And it just so happens that Flitwick is one of them.
Yeah, it is 3-on-1. Oh, wait.
Kingsley Shacklebolt?
Oh, we were... Wait.
Oh, maybe I was wrong.
We were way wrong.
Dang it. Maybe it's against Snape. I thought it was, though.
No, it was,
Darn. But he does help out, if we're wrong, he does help out in the Battle of Hogwarts.
No, yeah, it's McGonagall, Kingsley, Shacklebolt, and Slughorn.
Well, when we get to McGonagall.
Which are even worse. Well, I mean, not worse, I would say. Or, not worse, but even better, but not really, because Flitwick was an accomplished duelist. He got helped. But,
I think he did, though.
I know he did.
Not in there, but, like, he proved himself.
I don't know. We'll have to... We'll get there in 5 years.
Baggold?
Yeah, Millicent Bagnold. Now, here's somebody I want to read up on, because I have no idea who this is. So, the Millicent Bagnold says popular ministry for magic and predecessor of Cornelius Fudge. Bagnold was in office when Voldemort tried and failed to kill Harry Potter as a child. Following Harry's survival, she allowed the widespread celebration among the wizarding community, running into trouble with International Confederation of Wizards for breaching the International Statute of Secrecy. She famously responded, I assert our inalienable right to party. Oh, so she was the Minister of Magic before Cornelius Fudge, and it's interesting because she actually did get in trouble for letting wizards go crazy.
Oh, so yeah.
That night.
When we were questioning, like,
how did they get away with it?
Getting away, like,
how is nobody getting reprimanded? But she did, and she probably made her lose her title of Minister of Magic, and Cornelius Fudge took over. Interesting, because I don't recognize his name. Here we go, our favorite person, Gilderoy Lockhart. I'm not even going to talk about him. We'll learn about him in the second book.
Just know that he's...
If you don't know Gilderoy Lockhart, strap in for book 2, because he's an interesting character.
Yeah, interesting. Sure.
Ignatia Wildsmith, a 13th century witch and celebrated inventor of flute powder. She invented flute powder.
I don't know if I would want to travel using flute powder.
Oh, me, I definitely wouldn't. I get sick on. I mean, I'm afraid to take an airplane. I get sick in car rides. The mixture is a closely guarded secret, but the prices remain at 2 sickles a scoop for 100 years. I wonder how many scoops it takes. I think it's 1 scoop to travel, so basically 2 sickles to travel. A person to travel. I don't know if that's bad.
Here's the Grey Lady.
Here we go, the Grey Lady. House Ghost. Ghost of Ravenclaw Tower is called the Grey Lady. A beautiful but haughty young woman with waist-length hair decked in a cloak. Not much of a talker, the Grey Lady's identity is shrouded in mystery.
Although, to be honest, it's interesting that both the Grey Lady and the Bloody Baron aren't much of talkers. But when they do talk, their words hold super amounts of significance.
Yeah, and that's because they both died in very serious ways, so they probably were brought into afterlife.
Yeah. And
but also, it kind of explains why we don't see the Grey Lady and this. I mean,
and
it's a feast and why
she's
barely ever seen, because she's probably purposely avoiding the Bloody Baron. It's gotta be real awkward. You're stuck for eternity in the same place that your killer is in for eternity. That's gotta be awkward.
Yeah.
What do they do when they pass each other? 500 years later. Hey, thanks for killing me. Yeah, no problem. Sorry about that.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, hey, Elena. Oh yeah, by the way, sorry for killing you, but I have a favor to ask real quick. My bad. I didn't mean to kill you, but, snap decision. Now I gotta live with it for eternity with you.
Right.
So, alright.
Now we're on to
Hufflepuffs. Famous Hufflepuffs through the ages. Start off with, obviously, Helga Hufflepuff. Again, founder of Hogwarts, Witchcraft and Wizardry, blah, blah, blah. Bridget Wenlock. Now, this girl is a famous 13th century witch, celebrated for her skills in arithmancy. There we go. Protective of her theorems, she wrote many of her ideas down in invisible ink, making them somewhat easy to misplace. Bridget was the first to discover the magical significance of the number 7.
Interesting. Ooh.
We move on, and we gotta be careful here. We can't say too much about this guy. Newt Scamander.
Full name, Newton Artemis Fido Scamander.
Yep. He's a magizoologist.
Interesting.
Yep. So Newt, to his readers, was the author of trusted Hogwarts textbooks, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. He's passionate about magical creatures, and he travels the world observing their behavior. That's about it. So, and if you want to know more about Newt, watch Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and then The Crimes of Grindelwald, which we will not discuss on this podcast at this time. We will discuss on this podcast, but not this episode.
Pomona. Really? That's her?
Pomona Sprout. Oh.
That's really her name?
Yeah.
Professor Sprout's real name?
Come on, how do we know? I've never seen that now that I think about it.
They really never really you never get to, besides McGonagall.
I thought they called her Poppy.
I mean, that makes sense. Because she likes flowers. She's a herbology teacher.
I don't know. Anyway, so she's a teacher at Hogwarts, head of Hufflepuff House, teaches herbology, blah, blah, blah. Cedric Diggory. Oh, man.
Yeah.
So...
just know that he gets important
before he's, before he was famous for being Edward Cullen, and before he was famous for dying, he was Hufflepuff's house's Quidditch team captain and seeker. In his 6th year at Hogwarts, he became one of the Triwizard champions. Good, kind, brave, and a credit to his house. So just a good guy all around. Good guys finish last. Always.
Or first in this case.
Well, yeah. Good guys are finished first. Let's say that. Okay, this is getting weird. Nymphadora Tonks. She was a Hufflepuff. I thought she was a Gryffindor. But she was a Hufflepuff. She's not your average witch, though. Or average Hufflepuff. Don't call me Nymphadora. Oh, that's hilarious. It says, don't call me Nymphadora Tonks. Is an aura and a metaphor magus. Born with the ability to control her appearance at will without the aid of a wand. She's basically a born animagus, kind of. Okay, no, she's not. My bad. You change her...
Shapeshifter.
Yeah, she's a shapeshifter. Well, not even. That's an animagus. She can change her look, but she can't change her whatever you call it. Like she can't go from human to animal.
Right.
Funny, slightly clumsy, but as bright as her ever-changing hair color. Tonks is also a member of the Order of the Phoenix. Or Hedwigs Army. I mean Dumbledore's Army. I mean Hedwigs Army. Okay, that's not true. And then the house goes to the Fat Friar. Little's known about this guy from the series, so I'm just going to read this. But the Hufflepuff House's ghost is an amiable fellow known as the Fat Friar. He was executed by senior churchmen for curing some peasants of the pox with the poke of a stick and pulling rabbits out of the communion cup. In his afterlife, he's so funny.
Oh my gosh.
In his afterlife, he seems like quite a jolly old ghost, particularly if you compare him to Moaning Myrtle.
Interesting one.
Alright, we're going to fly through these. So we got famous Slytherins of the ages. Obviously, Salazar Slytherin for being the founder of Hogwarts and blah, blah, blah. And founder of Slytherin House. Merlin, which is a very recognizable name. I'm just going to read this little description. Merlin himself was sorted into Slytherin when he was at Hogwarts, and the young wizard went on to become one of the most famous wizards in history. The Order of Merlin, named to commemorate him, has been awarded since the 15th century. Legend has it that the first Order of Merlin's green ribbon reflects his Hogwarts house.
Wow.
So Merlin, if you've ever learned about history at all, like, fictional history, you've heard of Merlin, King Arthur.
That's actually really interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. It's cool.
See, if I would have expected him to be in a Gryffindor and Morgana to be a Slytherin, but hey.
Yeah.
It's an interesting take.
Yeah, but how it is. So then you got Severus Snape. Severus Snape. Dumbledore. I can't help it. So Snape, which I'm not gonna go into Snape because we're gonna talk about him a lot through the series. But head of Slytherin.
He's a really interesting character.
He's got a lot to him. Not that I don't want to give spoilers or anything like that. I just don't want to get into him right now because there's just so much to talk about with him, and we do not have the time.
He could almost be his own episode, really.
Oh yeah,
that's how definitely.
Much. Which he might be. We might do a Snape episode because there's so much that people, first of all, don't know about him if they've only read or seen the movies. But second of all, there's just so much.
Even when you read the books
to him, so much you can miss. So many things to miss on, and he's his own episode. But we'll talk about him throughout the series. We just can't get into it right now. For right now, all you need to know is he's the potions master, the head of Slytherin, and he's
the jerk. One that
he's a jerk.
He seemingly gave Harry a headache.
Yeah, he made his scar hurt or something like that, which I have a theory for later. But anyway, so Phineas Nigellus Black, which is Sirius Black's great-great-grandfather, and he was one of the least popular of all Hogwarts headmasters, possibly because he hated being a teacher and seemingly young people in general. Even after his death, Phineas went on to advise further headmasters, albeit from his lofty position on their office wall. So he became a portrait that wouldn't shut up. Tom Riddle.
Not a lot need to be said about him.
Yeah.
Other than that's Voldemort.
Yeah.
As a kid.
Okay. Siri was recording everything. Yeah, that's Voldemort. Again, you were going to talk about him like crazy in the next book, so we're not going to get into it right now, but...
Because he does, he's important towards the end of the book.
Right. Well, he's important the whole series, but, we
don't get into his
significance comes in book 4.
We don't get a true glimpse of him until later in this book, and then in the second through pretty much the rest of the series.
And then not at all in the third.
That's when he starts becoming super serious.
Right, and then in the third days, forget about him for a minute. So,
but he comes back with a vengeance.
He was hunkering down and awaiting his plot. Anyway, so Tom Riddle. We're just gonna move on. Again, there's so much about him.
Slughorn.
Horace Slughorn, which potions master. He was head of Slytherin House. Lily Potter was one of his most gifted students. Sorry about that. He's not one for spotlight, but certainly one to name drop, and yeah, he's known for the Slug Club, which is basically his favorite students, which he would suck up to, so that when they became famous, they would send him gifts and stuff. And then their house goes to the Bloody Baron, which might as well let's just jump into the Bloody Baron right now, right? Yeah. So their description on here, and this is off of Pottermore. The Bloody Baron is the gaunt and blood-soaked Slytherin house ghost. He's the only one who can keep pesky poltergeists' Peeves under control.
I really want to know why his Peeves... I mean, other than obviously he's bloody. Like, what control? Why does he have the control over Peeves? Or nobody else does?
I think, and we might even learn about it when I pull up my Pottermore description of Bloody Baron, but I think it's just because Peeves is just a manifestation of child's, like, what is that? The children's wrongdoing, basically. Mm-hmm. And
mischievousness.
Yeah, the Bloody Baron is almost like the adult. Like, is seen as, like, because he's the one that will, like, yell at him and he scares him and things like that. So he's like the adult to the children. So he respects them just like children would respect their elders. But that's my opinion, and I think it might say it somewhere, but don't quote me because again, I don't remember. But anyway, so look up the Bloody Baron. Part of Pottermore, he just has a Slytherin ghost, the gaunt and silent specter covered in silver bloodstains. And then full name is the Bloody Baron. It's actually probably not his full name, but that's all we get. Skills is controlling Peeves. Hobbies, groaning and clinking up the astronomy tower. And his death, he killed himself in remorse for stabbing Helena Ravenclaw. He wears his chains as an act of penitence. So he basically punished himself.
Yeah, he killed somebody and then committed suicide.
Yep, so, I mean...
kind of messed up when you think about it. And then decides that he, even though he's wearing chains, he still wants to be with the one that he...
Right, and he asked her to marry him, and she said, or Helena Ravenclaw marry him, and she said no.
I'm pretty sure that's why he stabbed
her to death.
It's a little messed up.
Yeah,
actually super messed up, to be honest. Like, really?
Yeah. That's all it really says about him, but he crazy. Oh, sorry guys. Wow, he's crazy. Alright, last but not least, let's jump into Gryffindor and then get back on with the rest of the book or chapter. So Gryffindor, and these ones we're going to know 90% of them, so I'm just going to fly through them. Godric Gryffindor, founder of Hogwarts, founder of the Gryffindor house, and yep, and this is important, he was born in a West Country village, later called Godric's Hollow, and he was the most accomplished dueler of his age, and his sword is the treasured artifact, the Sword of Gryffindor.
Although, really, when you're a wizard, why do you need a sword?
Well, yeah, I don't know. Albus Dumbledore. Yep, just gonna skip Dumbledore. I mean, it's Dumbledore. Like, he just... Everything about Dumbledore is...
Right.
Everything from his hair to his boots were unwelcome. Or what it says in the first chapter. Anyway, so, yeah, no, it's Dumbledore. He's Dumbledore. I just got nothing for you there. Minerva McGonagall. Again, teacher at Hogwarts. She's the headmistress of Hogwarts, right under Dumbledore. Teaches Transfiguration. She's an accomplished animagus, can turn into a cat. Harry Potter. Wait, who's Harry Potter?
Huh? I like how they put
Chosen One, the boy who lived, and perhaps the bravest Gryffindor the house has ever seen. Need we say more?
Yeah, really. They should have led.
It's Harry Potter. Like, he has the whole series named after him. If you're reading the Harry Potter series, you don't know who Harry Potter is, turn the podcast off right now. Please. Like, I mean, Ron Weasley, Hermione Granger, and the house ghost is nearly out of the snick. Actually, Sir Nicholas de Mimsy Porpington, I have the Pottermore file on because I wanted to see if it mentioned his death, which I'm sure it does. Full name, Sir Nicholas de Mimsy Porpington, House Gryffindor. Skills, providing directions around Hogwarts Castle. Hobbies, reenacting his botched beheading. And death. October 31st, 1492, incompletely beheaded. hit 45 times in the neck with a blunt axe.
That's a little messed up.
How do you not behead somebody by hitting him 45 times? That's insanity, bro. That's so crazy.
Also, I'm pretty sure he was like dead by like hit 2 or something, and they just kept going for fun.
Yeah, it's crazy. We'll go over more about Nick in the second book because there's a whole chapter devoted to him.
Yeah.
So we'll obviously dive into his history more so. But how do you not kill somebody by hitting him 45 times in the neck? I don't care if it's a blunt axe. If I take a butter knife, I could end up chopping someone's finger off with it eventually. Jeez.
Also, why didn't you just finish the job?
Right. Yeah, why give up? I mean, get tired, need a drink? You said forget it? I don't know. Anyways, so let's move on. That's the Gryffindor houses. Now it's page 1 of the chapter down. It only took us, 35 minutes to get through the first page, basically.
Oh, dear God.
That's okay. It's okay, the rest of us go. It's a short chapter, so the rest will just fly. Yeah, I'll continue on here. Now, this is something that, who says this? Something that somebody says. Oh, McGonagall says this. As she's leaving them alone, she says the sorting ceremony will take place in a few minutes in front of the rest of the school. And then she says something. So, she says, I suggest you all smarten yourselves up as much as you can while you're waiting. And this is funny to me. Because, first of all, the sorting has nothing to do with knowledge or anything. It's literally the kind of person you are in your head. Nothing you can, unless you ask not to be putting something in, nothing you can or do will sway the sorting path from putting you in the house that he chooses.
Yeah.
Whatever. It chooses. Sorry, you're right. Whatever it chooses. But McGonagall knows this, but still she's like, I suggest you all smarten yourselves up as much as you can while you're waiting. Now, this means one of two things. It could either literally be McGonagall's stern teacherness saying, instead of sitting around and doing nothing, you should probably be studying for your classes.
Yeah.
Or, and here's the part, because McGonagall has, even though she's very stern and teacherish, she's got a very good sense of humor, which you see come out at times. Now,
such as her battles with Umbridge.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Well, that's just sassiness. But no, yeah. So, I'm thinking, like, what if she's telling them this? What if she's playing on the rumor? So, obviously, I'm sure that Fred and George aren't the only ones spreading rumors about how the sorting hat test goes, and you have to be smart, or you have to, fight a troll or something,
Although,
what if she's playing on those rumors and, like, y'all better smarten yourselves up, like, and then walks out of the room and has a laugh to herself.
Like you said, the sorting hat seems to be, like, to talk about it, seems to be protected under the Fidelis Charter.
Oh, I know, I have that in here, too.
So maybe that's what she means when she says you might as well smarten yourself up, because you're going to be putting a cap on your head.
Well, I mean, I don't see anything. She's...
So she's, like, trying to hint.
Yes, but I don't know.
I feel like she's trying to hint at it without...
Well, no, because it doesn't make sense, because nothing you can do is going to prepare you for that.
Right, but if you think of, like, smart and you think of brain, your head...
Okay, I think you're... no offense, I think you're thinking... I think she's literally either, like, y'all better study for your classes while you're waiting, or she's playing on the rumor. Like, because that doesn't make sense. Like, smarting yourself up does nothing for the sorting. You could be the smartest person, and you'll still be a Slytherin. If that's, like, but I'm saying, like, smart have nothing to do with it. You can be super smart and be super knowledgeable, but that doesn't mean you're going to be a Ravenclaw. That could just mean that you were scared and studied, but because she told you to. So you could be, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It has nothing to do with nothing. You can't study for that. She knows that. So she's either being super serious, like, y'all better get ready for your classes, or she's just making a joke on the rumor, playing on that rumor. Which I like to think she's playing on that rumor, and then she closes the door behind her and just giggles to herself all the way back to the, like, got him. Hashtag got him, let's go. But I do want to touch, because that's in there as well. I do have that later on, but it is, well, we'll get into it because I have the Sorting Hats Pottermore thing pulled up. I want to see if it says anything on there, but I don't know if it does. But we'll get into that when we get to this actual Sorting Hat in a second. But yeah, the Sorting Hat's been said to have possibly have a Fidelis charm on it, so maybe she literally can't tell them what to expect. So she just says like,
drops a weird hint.
Yeah, maybe, but I don't think it's that complicated. But I mean, who knows?
I'm just saying it's complicated though.
It's a little complicated though. Like, I'm gonna tell you to smarten yourself up so that you think of studying, which makes you think of your brain, which makes you think, oh, what if it's gonna read my brain? Like, it's just a lot. Oh god, I said a crime is a Grindelwald thought, but I'll think about that. We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it after we turn this off. So, then, wow, I have a lot of notes in the beginning here. Then, Hermione here, she's whispering very fast about all the spells she'd learn and wondering which ones she'd need. Now,
Dear God.
Again, I just had a little note on this. Now, she's obviously, learning these spells, and she's confident that she can do them, so is she practicing them all summer?
I don't think she can.
That's what I'm saying, but that's what I have in there. If she
could
is,
be.
then how is she not getting notified? Hogwarts are probably we'll tell them about magic, but then when at the end of the school year, we'll remind them not to use it at home. First years, they're probably not worried about because they're like, well, they just learned the magical or whatever, or the parents, either they just learned the magical or the parents have told them not to use magic. But Hermione's a rare case where she's actually going to open the book, read it, and then try magic before she comes to the school.
Although, see, I think before you get your wand, you can't be tracked. It's when you get your wand, you get tracked. It's to oh, you're underage.
Well, yeah. She had her wand, I'm assuming. Because she had her books. So she had her books and her wands at the same time. So she's saying she can't learn the spells without the book. She doesn't know, she got nobody to hand them down to her. So she must have got her books, got her wand, and then started, I'm assuming, because she literally is whispering fast about the spells she learns and wondering which ones she'd need. Now, if she's a book smart, so maybe she just believes that reading about it will help her do it.
Probably.
But then, first of all, stop being Umbridge. and second of all, wow, I feel like she would practice them. And if she did, then how did she not get...
Wow.
That's literally an Umbridge move right there. No need to practice them. You should, reading about them, you'll know enough. What? Hello? But anyway, that's just a note I made. How did she learn? If she's not confident, did she practice them? And if so, how did she not get, a letter to be whoa, chill, what are you doing?
But she's also a Muggle-born, so maybe it's harder to track.
I don't think so. Because she's so magical. I don't think it'd be harder to track. Maybe they just let it slide because she wasn't hurting anybody or anything. And they're just you know what? We'll tell you, once she gets to her first year, they'll tell her not to use it at home. We'll just let it slide for the next month or so. But, I don't know. Or maybe she wasn't trying them. Maybe she just believes her book power is good enough to get her through. Okay. Now, we're moving on and... What is it?
Peeves.
Yeah, Peeves, I just want to see where is that. So Peeves, this is before this. Oh yeah, about to be sorted. So Peeves flies in before the sorting, and if you don't know Peeves, because if you've read the movie, if you've watched the movies, you've never read the books, you have no idea who Peeves is, unless you've played the video games, of course. So if you don't know who Peeves is, let me just read you this little excerpt from Pottermore. Oh, I don't really care about the name Poltergeist. Oh,
but that's what he is.
Yeah, it's actually really long. I'm not going to read it. But he's basically a poltergeist. I just want to see if it says anything. The poltergeist is invisible. Poltergeist is an invisible entity that moves objects, slams doors, and creates other inaudible kinetic disturbances. He's actually not invisible. He can go invisible, but he can also make himself seen. But different than ghosts, he can actually move things and throw things and can touch and things like that. But he's created... I'm trying to see if it says exactly how he's created. It was he's a manifestation of children's... Let me look up something different here. Who is Peeves? So he's... One sec, guys. I'll come back to it. But he's a manifestation of...
Like their energy.
Yeah, of the energy. Let's move on. I'll let Trevor kind of speak while I'm looking for it. Because I want to find it. I can't remember if I want to get it right.
Well, we're moving on. McGonagall was lining him up. What I want to know is why didn't you have him in alphabetical order? Because when your name gets read, it's in alphabetical order. See, even wizards want to make it easy on themselves. Instead of having a really long line and then just be like, hey, I'm going to call your name. Hey, I'm going to call your name. Hey, I'm going to call your name. And you might just be first. You might be last. You might be in the middle somewhere. Puts down the stool and then decides to lay the sorting hat, which is super tattered. I mean, it's been around since the founding of Hogwarts, presumably. Possibly even more. Not much more, but probably a little bit more. You know, it's said that the sorting hat is Gryffindor's. Gryffindor took off his hat. It was like, hey, let's make this into a way to sort the children into our houses that we're gonna train. Now, when she lays down the sorting hat, what also happens is she pulls out a piece of parchment, which I think is interesting.
Okay, I failed. Yeah, I can't figure it out.
Oh, it's okay.
I'll find it for our next episode.
Actually, I'm sorry. Before she pulls out the paper, the sorting hat bursts out into song.
Oh, here we go. My favorite part.
Here you go, Josh.
Got it right here. Oh, you may not think I'm pretty, but don't judge on what you see. I'll eat myself if you can find a smarter hat than me. You can keep your bowlers black, your top hat sleek and tall, for I'm the sorting hat, for I'm the Hogwarts sorting hat, and I can cap them all. There's nothing hidden in your head the sorting hat can't see. So try me on, and I will tell you where you ought to be. You might belong in Gryffindor, where dwell the brave at heart. Their daring nerve and chivalry set Gryffindor apart. You might belong in Hufflepuff, where they are just and loyal. Those patient Hufflepuffs are true and unafraid of toil. Or yet in wise old Ravenclaw, if you've a ready mind, where those of wit and learning will always find their kind. Or perhaps in Slytherin you'll make your real friends. Those cunning folk use any means to achieve their ends. So put me on, don't be afraid, and don't get in a flap. You're in safe hands, though I have none, for I'm a thinking cap. That's all I got.
And then, of course, there's the applause and possible encores.
Everybody loves it. I have something to say here.
Yes.
So, there's a line here that Ron says, and because I'm a horrible person, I took it completely out of context. So right afterwards, Ron whispers to Harry, so we've just got to try that on the hat. I'll kill Fred. He was going on about wrestling a troll. So of course I had to note this, and I just made a little note that said, be careful what you say, because as we all know, somebody does kill Fred.
Actually, nobody kills him directly.
Well, not directly, but he is killed. So, I'll kill Fred. Well, you won't, but he will die. So, I guess, you know what? He lied to you, and karma got him back 6 years later.
That's a little messed
up. I'm a horrible person. Sorry, I just had to. I just thought that was... I don't want to use the word funny. I thought that was ironic that in the first book, Ron... Like, out of everybody in his family, Ron makes a comment about killing Fred, and then 6 books later, Fred actually dies. The only Weasley to die. Foreshadow?
I agree.
Question mark?
I agree. Now, after the song, after everybody's applauded and everything, McGonagall takes out a long roll of parchment. Reminded me, is this like the quill and pen?
Oh, the book and pen, you mean?
Yeah.
I think it is the actual page from the book and pen.
Which is really interesting.
Yeah, I think it's actually the page.
Year? I mean, I assume it says it on there, like...
Well, yeah, it writes it down, I'm pretty sure, like, every year. At the beginning of the year, or... I think when they show magical ability, enough So I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but here's my understanding of it. The pen knows when a magical person is born, and every year it tries to write in the book.
And the book is more selective.
The book knows how much magical ability somebody has shown. So if they have not shown enough magical ability, the book will not allow the pen to write in it. And once they're shown enough magical ability, you can write in it. For example, Neville's name was not down until for Hogwarts up until he was, I think it was 8 years old, and he got thrown or dropped out of a window and bounced on the ground. That had shown the book enough magical ability that it allowed the pen to write Neville's name.
Right.
To be destined for Hogwarts. Which is super freaking amazing.
And of course, yeah, no, I agree. Like, how does it tell?
It's just magic. I don't got it. Like, there's really no other explanation besides it's enchanted quill and pen.
Yeah. First person to get called. And I made a note of this.
To be fair, real quick, how would the founders know who was magical enough to go reach out to them to come to their school? Probably they put their knowledge of however they knew into the pen.
Probably. First person to get named. Because they're doing names by last name.
Right.
Is Abbott Hannah.
Abbott Hannah, which goes to Hufflepuff.
Which is super interesting that the first person picked is Hufflepuff, which is one of the houses that we never really hear about.
Right. True.
And then we get a Ravenclaw, a couple more Ravenclaws, get a new Gryffindor in the form of Lavender Brown, Bulstrode. Millicent.
Bulstrode is a Slytherin.
God.
And she looks like a toad.
It's a terrible friggin' name, I'm sorry. Super terrible name.
Right.
Harry makes note, like, oh, well, the whole table of Slytherin looks like bullies. Which they kind of are.
Yeah, you can tell who looks like a Slytherin. But then I think the first, go on.
Then you have Finch Fletchley.
Justin Finch Fletchley.
Yeah.
Hufflepuff.
Who's
Muggleborn.
And then you have Finnegan, Seamus.
Finnegan. Irish lad.
Sat on the stool for almost a whole minute. This is when Harry's realizing that certain people are staying on longer, and some people it's not even touching their head.
Right.
We'll get to that in a second. Hermione, she goes up there, says Gryffindor. I would have thought she. I think she actually mentions that.
I think she was just under being a hat stall. Just under the time to be a hat stall.
Yeah, but it doesn't say it in here.
No, it doesn't, but nearly headless. How can you be nearly? No, she's nearly a hat stall. And because she would be a great Ravenclaw, but I think the hat saw just enough bravery in her to put her in the Gryffindor.
Oh, yeah. Which is kind of cool.
And cockiness.
We don't get to see the cocky side of her until after she punches Malfoy.
In the face! Which actually slap in the book.
And then horrible thought struck Harry. What if he isn't chosen at all? What if he just sat there with the hat over his eyes for ages? Right. That's kind of what you were talking about.
Yeah, I have a note my note literally just highlights that, and it says, I understand he's nervous, but that he's not gonna get he's nervous with the whole thing, but him of all people should be super confident that they belong there. He's famous before he even knows he's a wizard.
Right.
So he's obviously magical. Literally, he was hand-delivered to the Dursleys and then hand-picked up because he's, precious cargo. So, I get nerves, but, why? There's no reason for him to be that nervous about not being there. But, yeah, so, obviously not a mistake. But, like I said, I get nerves, so whatever. But just wanted to, it just caught me, caught something I wanted to mention.
I did want to talk about Neville because it took a while on his head, actually.
He was also almost a Hextall.
When, it says Gryffindor finally, he's confused. He's like, oh, wait. And, almost takes the hat with him. But it makes me wonder, what other house would Neville fit into?
Hufflepuff.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Not to be mean, he's too much of a kind of a...
He's obviously not going to Ravenclaw, and I don't think
he's not, he's a little bit... I mean, he's not dumb, he's just not, super bright.
Yeah, well, and he forgets things, so I figured that probably...
Right.
Knocks him out of the running.
Yeah, and he's, literally scared of Slytherin, so obviously he's going to be a Slytherin. He's not...
Although, to be honest...
Cunning or...
To be honest, especially in the movies, when we see him, older... yeah, he has those signs of a true Gryffindor. But, he also kind of... You get to see, I feel a Slytherin side to him, where he's, when he's going against Bellatrix, he's super mad about his parents. Totally understandable.
Right, oh yeah.
Super... if I was in his position, I'm pretty sure I would think of ways to,
right.
super harm the person that harmed my parents.
Right. But, I mean... Yeah, I'd say I still don't know if I'm 100% about the decision to join Gryffindor, or to be put in Gryffindor, the Sorting Hat's decision to put him in Gryffindor, because, I mean, I know he gets there, but, obviously he stands up to Voldemort in the very last, book, and...
Well, we get to see a couple of times where, he stands up to Harry and Ron
other than, I wouldn't say that alone, other people stood up to people and to Voldemort and stuff. I wouldn't say that alone makes him a Gryffindor, and without that, I think he's just more of a Hufflepuff than anything. Like I said, I'm not the Sorting Hat, so...
He does like herbology.
Yeah, he does.
If you know what I mean.
No, I know what you mean. but for real though, it's his favorite subject, and Madame Pomfrey's a herbology teacher, and she's the head of Hufflepuff. So I think, not Madame Pomfrey, Madame Professor Sprout. Sorry.
It's just interesting that it would take so long on him, because you figure it would decide immediately hey, you want to be this, you want to be that. I think maybe he talked to it, because we get to see later on that Harry talks to the Sorting Hat, kind of, sort of.
No, Slytherin.
Yeah, he's like, don't put me in this house, don't put me in this house. And the Sorting Hat's like, well, don't you want to be in Slytherin? I mean, you'd be great.
Wait, no? Well, if you're sure, better be Gryffindor. Okay, I love the movie.
But we get to see, how Harry's talking to the Hat. So I think in some ways, maybe
he did.
Because I don't remember what house his Neville's parents were in, but
Gryffindor.
That's maybe why he got Gryffindor. Because a lot of people seem to take after their parents, like Malfoy, but Malfoy's kind of a jerk.
I mean,
that's about the
he's
nicest
a Death Eater in the making, literally. So
that's about the nicest way I can put it.
But now this would be interesting to look up. The Patil twins get put in two separate houses. But were their parents in two separate houses, or are the parents in the same house? Are they purebloods? Were their parents? Well,
I think so.
I don't even know.
I believe so.
So that's just be interesting to look up later on. But yeah, they get switched up. So yeah, Neville. So I could see him in Gryffindor to a point, like I said, towards later in the series, but then again, is that him necessarily being a Gryffindor or stepping up to prove he's a Gryffindor? You know what I mean? Is he a Gryffindor because in his heart he's a Gryffindor, or is he a Gryffindor because I think he was made a Gryffindor and now he wants to prove himself?
I think it's the first one. And
so he always had the potential in him.
I think so.
Okay.
Because especially considering what happened to his parents, I think it was his way of he had the courage to stand up to people.
Right.
And I think he just struggled living up to his family. He was like, I have to live up to what my family is. Because it's stated a little bit later that when we finally get an introduction to his parents and the super sad backstory to that.
Yeah.
That, like, he, it's a fate worse than death. I don't envy them. But, like, you kind of
could have made the parents get better so that they could be with Neville. So sad.
Yeah.
Sad.
But, like, I think that kind of pushes him to...
Yeah.
Not only does he want to, like, make his family proud, but he wants to be his own person.
Right.
And I think he struggles with that until, we get to see, especially in the movie, we get to see him finally come into his own. Like,
right.
I am my own person.
Right.
Yes, I have parents who are great, but I'm going to make myself great
right.
on my own terms.
Right. And I guess, like, to contradict myself, I guess I could see, like, the point of the sorting hat is to see deep down inside of you. So I guess maybe deep down he had those qualities, and he had trouble showing them when he was younger. So I guess I could see it. So
kind of like Malfoy. I mean, Malfoy, if he wasn't brought up the way he was, maybe could have been a Gryffindor, but I doubt it.
Right. And, like, here, like, he's annoying and he is a bully, but he's not as bad as he gets. And...
What are we talking about?
Malfoy.
Oh, okay.
And, I mean, obviously, like, it's interesting, because he was supposed to be going to Durmstrang, and I don't know if Durmstrang has houses and stuff, but would he be in, like, the Slytherin-esque house in Durmstrang? Or, because his parents did go to Durmstrang, so how would they, you know what I mean? Or would he be, that's the thing, is the potential coming from how he's nature or nurture? Was he born a Slytherin and, just evil? Not that all Slytherins are evil, but evil. Or was he...
I don't think he was born evil. I
or
think
was he turned evil? Was he raised evil?
I think he was turned because
his father's Death Eater.
Well, because you later on see, especially in, like, book 7 and then The Cursed Child, you kind of get to see, like, this different side of Malfoy where he's like, I understand.
And yes, the Cursed Child is canon. Let's get that right out in the open.
Where you get to see, like, a different side of Malfoy. Malfoy's like, you know what? I screwed up as a kid. But, like, I realized the faults of my parents. Well, and I don't want to be like my parents.
Right. Let's just look at it this way. Let's look at it year by year. Year 1. He's a pureblood who's raised that everyone that's not a pureblood is basically a POS. Garbage. Right?
Yeah.
And he makes friends with people that are very much the same way. And if you know anything about children and schooling, peers, what your peers are is what you become.
Yeah.
If you get in with a lot, you're going to turn into a lot 9 times out of 10. Now you can get out, but it's not common. And in book 2, same happens, and then people start to suspect, the Harry and them start to suspect him for the heir of Slytherin, and people are asking him, and, again, but same thing, but except now we get a whiff of Voldemort, which makes Lucius go, pasta. So...
Well, I think we also get to see that, like, I think from the very beginning, especially, like, after book 1, because I think book 1 he's kind of not brainwashed, but, like, he has a mentality of, his father. I feel like when we get to, like, book 3, 4, and 5,
well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We get to see where, like,
right.
Malfoy is
that's what I'm saying.
So influenced by, like, he's feeling the pressure to be somebody like his parents.
Right, well, that's what I'm saying. I would say 1 through 3, he's raised by parents that think they're better. I would say at least the father, because I don't think his mom's that bad. I think she, again, is just...
I don't know. I feel like she looks out for her family. Like, whereas, like, Lucius is all about kind of... Like, he's a family guy.
Well, no.
Like, he cares more about his own...
Yeah, his own...
pride.
Yeah, there we go. There you go.
He's looking out for number 1.
Right. He, like, reminds me of Wormtail a lot. He's going to do whatever he's got to do and suck up to whoever he's got to suck up to protect him and his family. But at the same time, and his pride and his legacy and things like that. So basically, he'll be anyone's female dog in order for himself. Like, for the sole purpose of furthering his own legacy and name and things like that. So he's like a more a less wimpy version of Wormtail, I would say.
Yeah.
But anyways, my point is, so 1 through 3, he is what his parents and his peers make him to be.
Yeah.
And I would say book 4, you start to finally see him kind of come into his own a little bit.
You get to see the cracks appear, that he's not perfect.
He's not perfect, and he's not...
And he sees that he's not perfect.
Necessarily as evil as his parents are, or as his peers are, but...
I believe that's actually when he gets
stuck.
Punched by Hermione. Like, Hermione's
book
like...
book 3.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, by book 4, we're seeing that, like, him getting punched in the face might have knocked some sense into him.
And I mean, obviously, he's getting a 5 and 6. He's becoming a Death Eater. But again, he's becoming a Death Eater to take, especially in 6. 5, it's kind of like he's on the edge. 6, he becomes that to take over where his father left off. But everything is just his father. I'll tell my father will hear about this. It's his famous phrase. Always his father and his peers, but you don't see anything about him until 6/7. You finally start to see pieces. I mean, especially in 7, when Harry saves him, and he just like
he's like, I thought you were a piece of garbage, but like
peace. He could easily save him and then still bring Harry to Voldemort. Harry could save him. He could, but instead he pieced it. He's like, deuces, I'm leaving you, and I'm gonna let you get on with your life. But, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you start to see pieces of the actual Draco Malfoy come out. And then, obviously, when you get to Cursed Child, literally, there's arguments that he's a better person than Harry is. Harry is talking crap to his own son, and Draco's literally just looking out for his son. The whole book. So...
Well, and I think, nothing against Ginny and whatnot, but, like, I know we're a little long on time. But you get to see, like, the fact that Draco's wife dies, I think, definitely leaves an impression on, like, some of these events. He almost dies by Harry's hand. Like, Harry almost kills this guy, right?
A couple different times.
And then, I'm saying, like, in book 7, almost kills him. Would probably, if or, my bad, 6.
When he uses, Sectum Sempra.
Like, he could have laid Malfoy out. Like, just been GG.
I mean, technically, he did. If Snape didn't come in...
Right, yeah, no.
You never know.
But it seems like, hey, I'm looking out for you. And Malfoy's like, I don't get this. So I feel like that's
he's a product. He's a product. He is the class action example of product of your environment. You are what you're made to be, not what you were born to be. He is what he was made to be, not what he was born to be. And you see that when he gets a family of his own and becomes a decent human being.
I kind of think we see that with Harry as well. But Harry, I think, becomes the exact opposite. He starts as his own person. I would say
Harry is his own person. He's just his own person that's like...
He feels the pressure and
he's got an actual destiny.
Right, he starts. I feel like
he's the chosen one.
Yeah, he feels like he starts succumbing into
himself. Yeah,
he's like, oh well, I gotta do this because everybody's expecting me to. Everybody's wanting me.
But I would say Harry's also good at not being that person because he does a lot of things that doesn't do a lot of things he should do because he doesn't care what people think.
Right,
But either way, like, what comes to Draco, like, you see it in Cursed Child, again, even if you hate the book, you can't deny the fact that Draco is a much better person overall. And I think that's because look at Lucius. Lucius is a piece of garbage when he's a kid. He's a piece of garbage when he's an adult. He stays the same because that's what he was born to be. Draco, once he gets away from the environment that he's a product of and he gets some time on his own with his family... He actually turns into a decent human being that actually cares about things other than himself.
I think maybe that's an influence of his mom, like how his mom was like, obviously he didn't get to see that part, but like when she's talking to Snape and going, hey, please help my son. Please help my son.
Right.
Like,
yeah, his mom's decent. That's what I'm saying. His mom, he's his mom. He's his mom. He's not saying he's the best human being in the world, but he cares about his family enough to put his pride aside. And it kind of shows. And now, think of it this way.
So we won't actually get to see any of this good stuff that we're talking about till much, much later.
Right.
But just know that, like, we get to see a change in
Malfoy. But in Cursed Child, maybe we'll get into the Malfoy werewolf there. We'll see. But in Cursed Child, Malfoy's son hangs out with Harry's son. Yeah. And Malfoy's chill with it. He's like, whatever, I don't care. Do what you gotta do. Now, if Malfoy hung out with Harry Potter, Lucius would have a cow. He would lose it. There's no way.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, he kind of did. A couple times he's like, oh, it's Harry Potter. Look down on him.
Oh, no, that's what I'm saying. Imagine if him and Malfoy became best friends.
I mean, they almost did, really.
I don't know. I wouldn't say almost did. The opportunity was there, and Harry's like, get away from me, you crazy.
Yeah, because he could see that, like...
I'm just saying, it would be a lot different. And that just shows Malfoy's not his father. Draco's not his father. Draco is his own person. Yeah. And it comes through when he gets away. Anyways.
Sorry, we went on a tangent.
That's a lot of Draco Malfoy talk, but it's just,
he's an important character. Yeah. Like, we see him as And
he's so controversial. Same with Snape. They're so controversial.
They literally, we could go on for hours about just those two.
I mean, I think Draco is better than Snape, to be honest. Snape's in it for his own gain through the whole thing. Malfoy, at least Draco turns into somebody that cares about somebody else. Anyways, moving on. Harry gets up to the bat.
I feel like he could have been sorted into Ravenclaw because the sorting hat is like, hey, not too bad. Not a bad mind either. I feel
that too, but I have two things that I want to bring up about this. One, I think he could have been brought in this. Three things, I guess. I'm going to touch on yours. I think he could have been put in Ravenclaw, but I think because of the destiny that was set out for him, there really wasn't a place other than Gryffindor for him. Because it's Harry Potter. The legacy behind him is too historic to not be part of the bravest and basically one of the basically a hero class or hero house.
Yeah, we see him be selfless.
Dumbledore, Godric, Gryffindor, Harry Potter, all part of Gryffindor's classes. Houses. Yeah. Anyway, so two things I want to bring up about this, when he's like, not Slytherin. So this is I like to think things way too much into them. But does this not make him more of a Slytherin by doing this? Now, all he knows about Slytherin is A, what Ron told him about bad wizards going there, and B, Malfoy being part of it. Which he barely knows Malfoy at all. So he's judging Slytherin literally based on what itty-bitty knowledge he knows about it, and enough to make him, do something, literally say to himself, not Slytherin, please not Slytherin. He's begging the Sorting Hat not to put him in Slytherin. Does that make him a little bit of a Slytherin? First of all, he's trying to literally be sly and cunning by tricking the Sorting Hat. Don't put me there. Don't put me there. Don't do it. Trying to push the Sorting Hat into making a decision. But also, he's judging Slytherin and he's not being fair. He's not really being a Gryffindor. He's judging the house before we doesn't even know anything about it. Now, does that not make him seem like more of a Slytherin to do such?
Lying. You're not lying.
But, I don't want to dwell on that too much because that's all I really have to say about that. So my next thing is, now, when it comes to Slytherin, and this is something I've heard in the past, but I want to bring it up. Now, is the Sorting Hat, obviously, like I said, he should be a through and through Gryffindor without an issue. But now, is the Sorting Hat seeing the Horcrux part of him? Is that why he wants to put him in Slytherin? Is he reading Voldemort inside of him? Is that why he's like, probably. Slytherin?
I don't think that's the whole thing.
What do you mean?
Kind of like I was saying that we kind of see a flip-flop characterization between Malfoy and Draco. I feel like they're two sides of the same coin.
Right.
They
don't
both
get
have
me wrong.
I think something to live up to.
Right.
Where Draco's like, I have to be my father, and my father is a Death Eater.
Yeah.
I have to be a dark wizard.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying there's nothing Slytherin-ish about Harry, like I just said. But I'm saying, the Sorting Hat really like wants to put him into. Sorry, my computer did something. The Sorting Hat really wants to put him in a Slytherin. Now, that's what I'm saying. Is he seeing, like when he sees his brain, is he also like obviously Harry's a Horcrux, he has Voldemort inside of him, so he's not only reading Harry, but also reading the whole Voldemort part of him. Because like, when I picture Tom Riddle walking up there, I picture just like Draco Malfoy, the Sorting Hat before it even touches him, Slytherin.
Probably.
Now, I could be wrong on that. I actually think he might have been almost been a Hadstall. But don't quote me because not. I'm just breaking off my own brain.
Considering what he was like when he was a kid. Probably
right, probably not. But I'm just saying, so it's just a theory to think about. Like, is the Sorting Hat also reading part of Voldemort? And maybe. Does Dumbledore know this? Because he says something in book 2 that I can't remember off the top of my head, so I'm not going to say it, but that kind of makes it seem like it.
Oh, speaking of Dumbledore, that weird, he says nitwit, blubber, oddment, tweak.
Yep. Don't know why.
Weird. Weirdest line. I just wanted to point it out because it's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not much else to say about it other than, like...
Yeah.
Oh.
And literally...
And then, like,
Harry's like,
later,
is he mad? And Percy's like, of course not. He's the most... of course not. He's the most brilliant wizard in the world. But yeah, he's a bit mad.
Oh, yeah, and then, like, food and stuff pops up.
Yeah, I just wanted to say about the food. So, we have the sweets and candy are all, like, not, like, muggle flavored. They got, like, birdie butter flavored beans, chocolate frogs, pumpkin pasties, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Lemon drops, or whatever it is. But when it comes to food, now, obviously they have, like, pigs and stuff, I'm sure, regular animals, man. But the food they eat, let me just mention it: roast beef, roast chicken, pork chops, lamb chops, sausage, bacon and steak, boiled potatoes, roast potatoes, fries, Yorkshire pudding, peas, carrots, gravy, ketchup, and for some strange reason, peppermint humbugs. These are all normal muggle foods. They're not magical beasts that food is made from. They don't eat thestral meat. Okay, that makes no sense actually. But they don't eat meat off of like all these beasts. And second of all, just like, where do they get the meat from? Who goes and hunts muggle animals and makes food off of them? So yeah, I mean, obviously they have these foods, but again, they're not like magical.
I feel like a lot of magical beasts are protected.
Well, I mean, I'm sure they are to a point, but like I said, where do they get all this muggle food from?
Unless, of course, you're the Snidget.
You can't magic up food. You have to have the food in order to, like,
right.
it has to be in the kitchen in order for the house elves to send it to the Great Hall.
Mm-hmm.
But like, where do they who goes and hunts muggle animals and makes the food, or goes to the store to buy them? Because they don't even have so many wizards don't even know what muggle currency. So
it's a great question.
Just interesting to think about. Like,
also, Snidget.
What's that?
The Snidget?
What's that?
The one magical creature that they hunted until...
Oh, it became the snitch. Got you.
Yeah.
That threw me out for a second. Yeah. Okay, so I've really got nothing else to talk about through the sorting. Other than one of the things I want to talk about, Snape. I want to go through Snape real fast. You got anything before I get into that?
I don't believe so. Actually, I mean, they talk about their families and stuff. I think that comes before that. Yeah, that comes just before. Just interesting, like, the whole Neville being dangled out of a window. That seems a little...
well, yeah, they're crazy.
Yeah. Hey, maybe that's just me.
Right. They're crazy, but it's kind of like, if you're not magic, we don't want you. No, okay.
I mean...
Basically.
Well,
it was an accident, but still, I mean...
can I say my... I have a theory on that.
Okay.
Because it says the hook-nosed teacher looked past Quirrell's turban straight into Harry's eyes. So he's looking... Like, I imagine, like, Snape is facing Harry, and Harry is looking at the back of Quirrell's head.
Right.
Which is probably why his head hurts. because of the back of his head is Voldemort.
Well, okay, that's one theory, and I have a different theory, though. Because it only hurts when Snape looks into his eyes. So my thought, and I'm still playing with the exact details of it, but my thought, so obviously Voldemort can, see through Harry, or, can sense Harry and things like that, especially if he's in the same room as him. So my thought is, or if Harry feels anger with Voldemort's anger and things like that. So I think when Harry, obviously at this point in time, Voldemort thinks Snape's has betrayed him. He's gone to Dumbledore's side, he's betrayed him, he's left him to die. So when Snape looks directly in Harry's eyes, Voldemort can sense that, and it's basically Voldemort looking into Snape's eyes, and he's filled with so much rage that it makes Harry's scar hurt. And it's Voldemort doing it through Harry's eyes because he sees in the Snape's eyes. And the rage fills Harry with pain in his scar. That's my thought about it.
Okay.
Now, something else I wanted to note out. It's kind of on a sad note here. You realize, you gotta think, I wonder also, you gotta think, this is Snape's first time encountering Lily Potter's son. The only piece of Lily Potter left on this earth. The only reason Snape's even at this school right now.
Yeah. And the reason that he didn't turn and essentially become
a Death Eater. Voldemort's right-hand man, which he's a great... He could put up a fight with Dumbledore, I would say.
I mean, considering that battle that we get to see him in, where he's going head-to-head with McGonagall, deflecting it as if it's nothing.
Yep.
Kills two Death Eaters.
Trevor's favorite part of the whole series.
Kills them both. Basically when you watch the movie, no look. Just
deflects both the spells and kills Death Eaters, yep. And then just flies on out of there like it's literally nothing. And then, it just...
Yeah, he's the only other person known to have unassisted flight.
When Harry's chasing him after he killed Dumbledore, he literally is just... the Harry Potter's not, that dangerous at this point. But, especially when he's not in control of his emotions. But he just throws Harry off like a rag doll. It's absolutely nothing. He's powerful.
You know what makes me... I highly doubt it's true. But, you know how Queenie has that ability, seemingly, to read people's minds?
Careful.
Oh. No, it's not ruining.
Fantastic Beasts, though.
Oh.
I'm just trying to stay away from all of it, but I got you.
No, how she has that ability to read people's minds like it's nothing.
Yeah.
And how Snape kind of shared... obviously he had to, work for it, but, how he can he's really good at it.
They're very different, I would say, because Queenie, she reads everybody's mind all the time.
She
can't control it. Snape, I think he's just a accomplished gentleman. She could just do it on the spot, but he still has to do it,
Where was I going with that?
Oh, sorry, I don't know what.
I don't remember.
But I don't think. Yeah, I would not say they're similar.
Oh, that. Oh, I guess that is a spoiler, so I can't really bring it up. Just the whole one person joining the other person's side and being the right hand person to that person.
You're getting a little risky right here.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting.
We're gonna drop it. Sorry, we're gonna drop it. We're getting a little bit We're
but
it's hot. It's hot. It's just the burning sensation is about to take over right there.
Right, but I'm saying what I'm.
I get what you're getting with that. I just
yeah. In that sense, Snape would literally be the best counterpart for Voldemort because he can read. He could read other people's minds.
And he's powerful.
I think the only other person that's more powerful is Dumbledore.
Think about it. He's not even on Voldemort's side, and think about what he's done.
He's tricking Voldemort into thinking, "Hey, I'm on your side."
If you fool, Voldemort is the most accomplished legilimate in history, and he's so witty and he's such a good dark wizard. Such a powerful dark wizard. In order for you to fool Voldemort and possibly Dumbledore.
Considering he could have turned either way.
Right.
That's impressive.
Right. Which, yeah. Yeah. So, but I'm bringing it all back. I want to bring it back to my point here. This is Snape's first time seeing Lily Potter's son. You got to think of the emotions, and he looks straight into his
eyes. Hint.
Well, yeah, okay. Brown eyes. I'm talking about the movie. Different.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, they're green. They're
supposed to be green.
Yeah, but and it says something about like he looks into his eyes, and let me see if I can pull it up real fast. Happened very suddenly. Turned straight into Harry's eyes, and it was hot. It only happened for a moment, and the pain came quickly. Then it had gone. So it's like, and then when you look back, Professor Snape did not look at him again. So do you think it hurts Snape to look into Harry's eyes almost as much as it hurt Harry? Like, he looked into his eyes, and he probably wasn't expecting him to necessarily have his mother's eyes, but he looked at him, saw his eyes, and it's just like a twinge, a pain on his heart. They couldn't even look at him again after that for the rest of the dinner.
Maybe that's what separates Snape from being Voldemort. Because, he's really only just, one step away from being as powerful or better than Voldemort ever was. In the sense that, the only thing really holding him back is his connection to Lily Potter.
Yeah,
That's the only thing
Dumbledore literally states at some point, it was one of his greatest, accomplishments of getting Snape on his side. Not accomplishments, but one of his greatest assets to have Snape on his side as opposed to against him. Because you don't want somebody like that against you.
Because,
team with Voldemort, they can get a lot more done.
If Snape and Voldemort teamed up, sadly, I think Dumbledore would be GG.
Yeah, GG. Adios, man.
You got one guy reading your mind and every move, and the other one is literally just powerhousing it through.
Oh, yeah, and that's the thing. Literally, Snape can read the spell you're going to perform before you perform it. That's how accomplished he is. He knows what you're going to perform before you perform it.
So he almost knows before you even know that you're actually going to perform said spell. Even if I'm assuming even if it's a non-verbal spell.
Well, you're going to perform it, but you think, Expelliarmus, and he's already got the counter curse ready before you even... First of all, you shouldn't be saying it if you're fighting Snape anyway, because you're way too weak then. You need to be able to perform non-verbal magic. But it doesn't matter, because he's going to read your mind and know exactly what your spell you're going to use anyway.
Which is incredible.
Super powerful. I don't even know if Voldemort can do that.
No,
probably pretty close.
We only know one other character that's on par or better.
Yeah. Probably
better.
Probably.
But at what cost?
Okay, so that's all I got on Snape, though, because, again, there's so much more time to get into these characters. There's just no reason to dive that deep in this episode.
And we're already pushing.
And we're already going to have to make a Snape episode. It's just going to have to happen because there's so much. Yeah, we're pushing an hour and a half, which is insane because it's a short chapter, but we have so much to say about it. Because you'll learn a lot about in this chapter. It's so short, but it's
this is our introduction
the start of
to
everything to the Hogwarts and the Wizarding world in general.
Kind of how the last couple chapters have been basically introduction to magic as a whole. Introduction to how you get magical items and everything. Gringotts. Yeah,
and then how you get there. Now it's
bang. This is the true, I guess, start of the story as we know it.
Up until now, it's exciting. Now it's real. He's there. It's always sorted. It's getting going.
So from here on out,
has begun.
We're gonna be not streamlining, but this is where most of our, how you were pointing out earlier in the episode, that we want to, explain a lot of this stuff because these are introductory kind of chapters. From now on, it's more we're done with the introductions. Now we're going to hit the heavy stuff.
Now it's going to be longer episodes and more information because they're coming in bundles.
Yeah.
So
there will be chapters that are
this next chapter, the Potions Master. You learn some things, but I haven't.
It's more or less the extended version.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be that many details. So the last thing I want to talk about here is Harry has a very weird dream.
Oh, yeah.
Let me read it. Let me pull it up. It's right here.
Actually, I got it for you. He's wearing Professor Quirrell's turban, which kept talking to him. Interesting. telling him he must transfer to Slytherin at once because it was his destiny. Also very interesting.
Right.
Harry told the turban, I don't want to be in Slytherin. Got heavier and heavier and tried to pull it off, but it tightened painfully, and there's Malfoy laughing at him as he struggles with it. And then Malfoy turns into the hook-nosed teacher, Snape, whose laugh became high and cold. There was a burst of green light, and Harry wakes up, sweating and shaky. Now, is that Voldemort really getting to him?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Some of it's actually foreshadowing.
Right, yeah, I'm saying, is it Voldemort? Now, here's my thought. Voldemort is angry because he saw Snape's eyes. This is if my theory is correct. He's angry because he saw Snape's eyes, so now is he first of all, is he punishing Quirrell for whatever reason? And is that where he's getting that? But it's is Harry now is Voldemort, yeah, I don't even know how to explain it. Is Voldemort kind of controlling Harry's mind?
I don't think so.
Is this a dream? Is this a dream? We've seen Harry in the fourth book have a dream about real events happening. Obviously, it can't be real because people are turning into other people. Malfoy turns into Snape.
Although, to be honest, I feel like that's weird. Maybe not. But it feels like a nod to something we get to see where Snape kind of takes the position of Draco because Draco can't go through with killing Dumbledore.
Right. But I'm saying, I was thinking, maybe this is a real, a dream of something actually happening. Quirrell, but except it said that Quirrell is Harry, or Harry is Quirrell, and he's wearing but it doesn't make sense because then, I think it's just a dream, but I wonder, where all this came from. And, there's talking and things from the Quirrell's turban, that can't just be a coincidental dream because we all know that Voldemort's under the turban. So it's got to be something to do with Voldemort, and he's got to be, showing him something, or maybe showing him what he wants him to see, and he's freaking, I don't know. But it's a very strange dream to have, and then it's kind of annoying because literally the last sentence of the chapter, he didn't remember the dream at all. So, literally she just puts it there to put it there, take what you want, and then it's not significant because it can never come up again because Harry doesn't even remember it. So he can't be I remember this dream I had. He doesn't remember it at all. It literally says it right there. Right. So it's here you go if you want to use it for foreshadowing. Otherwise, it's just something I wanted to put in there because for fun.
Right.
But, yep, ends with a weird dream. And that's it. It's on that chapter.
So we're hoping you guys, we know that it's a little bit longer.
But it's gonna start getting longer because this is why we're here for the podcast. One of our viewers, or one of our loyal listeners, even reached out to me to tell me, it doesn't matter how long it is because that's why, and it makes sense because that's why we're here. We're here to talk. We're not here to just brush you up on your Harry Potter. We're here to discuss the details and our theories and our thoughts and opinions on the chapters. And we're not here to read you the chapter and be like, that's it, bye. We're here to go an hour and a half deep into the chapter, which is 10 minutes to read it, and we talk about it for an hour and a half because we're devoted Harry Potter fans. Right. And we hope that you guys enjoy listening to us dive deep about it. And, it's going to start getting longer like this because these chapters have so much to talk about. There's so many things to talk about, and that's why we're here. So we hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any comments, questions, anything like that, feel free to hit us up on Twitter at Hedwigs_Army. You can email us at HedwigsArmyPodcast@yahoo.com.
You can hit us up on Facebook.
Yeah. Or if you just want to go to one place, one-stop shop for everything, you can go over to HedwigsArmy.com. You can leave a comment on there, or there's links to our Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all of our podcasting platforms you can find us on. Literally everything, and our email's on there. So if you fill out the comment section, it goes straight to our email. So everything that you need to get a hold of us or to find us is on there, HedwigsArmy.com. Let us know what you guys think of the podcast. Let us know what you think about the chapter. Comments, questions. If we got something wrong, or if you disagree or agree with something, feel free to let us know.
A good way to let us know is to, especially if you're an iOS user and you're on iTunes, or
Google Play?
Google Play podcast.
I don't know if you can leave comments on that though. I don't remember.
If not comments, we would love to hear from you guys. To get your thoughts on. Did you like the chapter? Do you like how we're going about things? Is there things that maybe you want us to change? Because really, that's what we're going for. Is we're trying to speak to you guys, our audience.
Right, and then
the members of Hedwigs Army.
Not to contradict Trevor here, but we're not gonna change. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Like, we've tried to change a couple things, but it just all leads back to the roots. We're just here to talk about Harry Potter. I mean, that's really it. We're here to analyze it and detail it, and I mean, in the best way I can say it. Like, if you don't like what we're doing here, I mean, I don't know. Like, we're not gonna change it because this is what we do. Feedback is extremely acceptable. Creative criticism, definitely. But I just don't want to see emails. Hey, make it shorter. Or, hey, I think you should add or not add or do this or not do this. But like to say, and if you do feel that way, tell us why you feel that way. Don't just say, I think you should. Stop giving the summary. But like, okay, but why? Like, that's what I'm saying. I think there's a difference between telling us what you don't like and giving us constructive criticism. Maybe be like, hey, I don't think the chapter is important. Some chapter summary is important because everyone's already read the chapter summary and it's really repetitive if you continue going over it. And then I will politely say yes, but those that may have either not have read it and just want to hear the podcast, or have read it but may not remember every detail of it. That's why we give the summary so that they can get a general knowledge of what is about to come up. But also, sorry, I don't mean to rant. I'm just going on, like, we're here to talk about Potter.
And we would love it if you rate us if you think we're doing great. We would very much appreciate 5 stars. If there's something that maybe we're missing, like we were talking about earlier, feel free to give us a lower score. But hopefully we are satisfying you guys and we're doing a great job and you think that we deserve 5 stars because we very much appreciate the support of our loyal fans.
Right. And if you don't give us 5 stars, first of all, that's perfectly acceptable. We're not gonna badger you about it, but let us know why. Leave a little review. Just tell us what made you take the star or 2 stars or whatever away. What it is, I mean, we just want some constructive criticism because at the end of the day, we're talking about Potter, but we're talking about it for people to listen to. So if you're not 5-star satisfied, then we just want to know why. So just leave us a review of your star rating. Let us know why it's let us know why it is 5 stars, or let us know why it's not 5 stars. Let us know if you enjoy what we're doing here. Other than that,
next week we're going to be going over chapter 8, The Potions Master.
Yes, so again,
this Snape episode.
This isn't going to be the Snape episode, but this is going to be a lot of Snape detail because it's all about Snape. He's the Potions Master. He's also the Half-Blood Prince. Spoiler alert.
So hopefully you guys, if you're reading along with us, you get to experience what Snape is and prepare yourselves for next week.
Yes, and we will prepare ourselves like we do every week. And just like every week, we will see you next week on Hedwigs Army. And until then, mischief managed.
Every great wizard in history has started out as nothing more than what we are now. Students. If they can do it, why not us?